Joseph Nutter was trapped in the locker room after he showered. He was at the middle school after gym class. It was the only class that he did not like. For this very reason, the bigger guys had taken his clothes and left him, laughing as they departed. He was glad they did not take the towel, as it was all he had to cover himself. He looked around the locker room and he could not see his clothes. He sat on the bench in front of the locker and they left his book bag. His clothes and shoes were gone. He did not know what he was going to do when he heard Mrs. Jones call out, "Joey, are these your clothes? Are you in there?" I said, "Yes, they did it to me again, and I don't know who it was. I could guess, but they would just deny it." She said, "I'll bring your clothes in. After you are dressed, come by my office. I'll give you a note excusing for being tardy." I said, "Thank you, I'll be right there." I got dressed and went to Mrs. Jones' office. She was the guidance counselor and I was often at her office as a lot of the guys liked to play pranks on me. I said, "Mrs. Jones, I am here," as I knocked on the door to her office. She said, "Come on in, I believe I have some good news for you. I talked to your teachers and they agreed that there is no need for you to attend classes for the remainder of the school year. This is the last week and your grades are okay. We all think that since you are the victim of unwarranted bullying, that this would be justified." Joey said, "That would be great, and next year, I could be lucky and most of the guys may end up at the other high school, but I'm not that lucky. Give me a minute and I'll take a look at the placement of the guys that we think are in the crew that keeps messing with you," she said. "You will still have to deal with 3 of the guys, sorry." "Well, at least I get to start summer break early," I said and asked, "What about homeschooling for next year?" She said, "I'll look into that for you and let you know." I left with the note excusing me for tardiness, then I turned in my books and started my summer break. I walked home and was glad it was only half a mile to the house that had been paid off. When my dad died as a result of an on-the-job accident, he had died just before I was born. I never knew him, and being raised in a household of only women, I had no male role model and was quite a bit more feminine than a boy should have been. My mom had done the best she could. At the time Dad had his accident, the lawyer told her that the best he could get for her was $500,000 now, or it would take years to try to get more. She took the offer as she had been a stay-at-home wife with a child on the way and 2 daughters. She enrolled at a business school and got an associate degree as a paralegal and put most of the settlement in a college trust fund for her children. I had 2 sisters. Alice was the elder, was a sophomore enrolled at college, and Nancy was the younger and would be a high school senior next year. We got by, but just barely, and the way Mom saved a lot of money was to use my sister's hand-me-down clothes for me. I did not wear pants or slacks until I started school. I threw a fit. I wanted to wear a dress. After all, I had only been wearing dresses. My mom said, "Your pants or slacks and blouses will still be girls' clothes and you can wear dresses after school and on the weekends if you want." I agreed to the compromise, and after school I would change my pants or slacks for a dress. Sometimes if the blouse was nice, I would put on a skirt, but I wanted to be able to wear a dress to school. It was not till the summer after the 3rd grade, when the hand-me-downs changed style, I got capris to wear and they fit much better than slacks or pants. I started to wear them all day, during the week, and dresses for the weekend, and I still wear more a feminine style of slacks and blouses when I am at school. He knew that it was his choice to wear his sister's hand-me-downs. However, he felt that those guys at school did not understand it was a matter of money. He was more concerned with how Mom would take the news about the abrupt end to his school year. He heard Mom's car pull into the driveway and knew she would be in shortly. After she came in the front door, he said, "I have good news and bad news. Which would you like to hear first?" She said, "Tell me the bad news first." He said, "I will not be going back to school for the rest of this year. The good news is my grades were high enough that early dismissal means I have passed all of my classes, so there will be no harm to my graduating this year." She asked, "What happened at school?" I said, "Some guys took my clothes and put them out in the hallway, and I was left with only a towel to wear until Mrs. Jones came by and gave them to me." After I went to her office, I found out that I would have an early start to the summer break. She said, "I am glad to hear that you have graduated from middle school, but the problem that I see is you will not have any supervision, that is for the 4 days, until Nancy finishes the term at high school. I need to think about how to cover the time. I doubt that the neighbors would say anything, however, there is a chance one of them could make a call to child welfare." I said, "I had not thought about that. I am not a small child and there were days last summer when I had no direct supervision." She said, "I do not have a problem, and I trust you not to get in any trouble, but we would have to have a hearing at child welfare and that would take longer than 4 days to schedule." "I have got it. You can spend the time at your Aunt Mary's beauty shop. Let me call her to set it up." Joey went to his bedroom to change out of the clothes that he had worn to school. He felt like wearing a dress, so he picked out a very pretty dress and put it on. His mother called him out to the living room. "Good news, Joey," she said. "What is the verdict?" I asked. Mom laughed at that and said, "Aunt Mary will be happy to watch over you. Her towel girl is out on maternity leave and could use your help, and she is willing to give you some money for your help. Instead of having to pay for daycare for you, you get to make some money." Nancy had just come home and said, "How is Joey going to make money?" I only caught the last bit of that. I filled her in on the events of my day, and how I would be helping Aunt Mary, and getting paid for my efforts. I liked going over to Aunt Mary's beauty shop. It was in a 3-car garage that had been converted. She never complained about me wearing dresses. In fact, on Saturdays, she would even give me a shampoo and set, and during the summer when it would not matter, she applied nail polish to my fingernails and toenails if I was wearing flip-flops. Nancy said, "Graduated, out of school early, and you get to work." I still do not have a summer job yet. I need to make some money for college. Tuition is covered thanks to Mom, and I can pledge at Alice's sorority and have a room. I will still need money for food and incidentals. "I guess I am lucky for the way it turned out," I said. "Every cloud has a silver lining, at least that is the saying." Mom said, "I suppose should have celebration, even if it is earlier than expected, and with no time to plan, I will order pizza." The pizza arrived and we were eating when the phone rang. I excused myself and answered the phone. "Not our residence, this is Joey," I said. It was Aunt Mary. I went back to the kitchen and said, "That was Aunt Mary, and she wants me to come over and spend the night. That way Mom would not be in a hurry in the morning and I would be where I needed to be." Mom said, "That is just how thoughtful Aunt Mary is. She is me out with this unexpected turn of events and does not want me to be rushed in the morning. Joey, pack an overnight bag and I will give you a ride over to Aunt Mary's house." I finished packing my overnight bag and Mom took me to Aunt Mary's house. She said, "Tell your aunt that I had to get home and I will call her tomorrow." I got out of the car and walked up to the front door. I rang the doorbell, and when Aunt Mary answered the door I said, "I am here." Mom said, she had to go and would call you tomorrow. She said, "I know she has to work in the morning and that is why I suggested you stay the night. Come in and take your bag to the guest room, down the hall, second door on the left. You can show me the dress you are planning to wear." You were planning to wear a dress, correct? After dropping the bag off, I returned to the living room and showed her the dress that I had picked to wear at her beauty shop. I said, "You know that I like to wear dresses. Is this one okay?" She said, "Yes, I think that will be fine, and I have never seen you when you were not wearing a dress. Go hang it up and come to the kitchen. I have a surprise for you." After I had hung the dress up in the guest room, I walked to the kitchen thinking what her surprise could be. As I got closer to the kitchen table, I could see nail polish, which was a burgundy wine frost, and something that I could only describe as a gun. She said, "This color will look genuinely nice on you and complement the dress you will be wearing. You are, after all, replacing my towel girl and you need to look the part. The fact that you are wearing a dress and have shoulder-length hair are both helping in that regard. A little more help would not hurt, not too much." She laughed at that and held up the gun and said, "This gun is for piercing ears and you will have your ears pierced." She was very quick, and she had both my earlobes wiped down with alcohol, then held the gun to my right earlobe and fired it, leaving a small gold stud in the earlobe. She replaced the spent earring and did it again to my right earlobe. I now had 2 small golden studs in my right earlobe. Before I could say anything, she repeated the process on my left earlobe. I wanted to see how I looked, however, she was not done and told me to wait. She said, "Your fingernails are next." After she finished applying the nail polish to my fingernails, she picked up a pair of tweezers and quickly arched my eyebrows. I looked at myself in the mirror above the sofa. I had never minded when Aunt Mary feminized me before, but she had not arched my eyebrows or pierced my ears. I held my hands up to my face so I could see my freshly polished fingernails with my new facial look, and I said, "I do look more like a girl." She said, "Joey, I told your mother that you would be replacing my towel girl, and she is a girl, and you need to look like a girl, not a boy in a dress. Sorry, if you did not realize that you would become a girl at least in appearance, and she will be out for 6 weeks, therefore, the job requires you to appear as a girl and for 6 weeks. Do you want the job, and will you do what is required?" I said, "Aunt Mary, I had hoped that it would be all right to wear a dress and work for you, and it would be nice to be a girl in a dress. I am worried that I might like being a girl more than a boy. If I do like being a girl more, I will not want to go back and be a boy. I like it when you set and style my hair and apply polish to my fingernails, and I have wanted to wear makeup like a girl, but did not know if you would help me learn how to apply makeup and look more like a girl. It is one thing to wear my sister's hand-me-downs, it would be more like changing from a boy to a girl." She said, "Do not worry about that right now, all you need to do is be a girl at work and have some fun. If you find out that you would rather be a girl, then we will figure out something. Just one more detail and you will look right, I will be back with it in a minute." She left to get whatever it was, and Joey was confused at what just happened. He agreed to be a girl for the job. She returned with 3 items, hair curlers, a bra and a pair of foam rubber fake breasts. She said, "Let me help you with that zipper and then you can pull your dress off enough, then we can put this bra on you and fill it with the foam rubber breasts, then put the dress back on." Aunt Mary saw that I was having trouble attempting to hook the bra and came over to help me. I put the dress back on and looked at the difference that the foam breasts made. I saw a girl in the mirror. I said, "I do look like a girl, and I really like myself as a girl." She said, "I thought that you would like to see yourself as a girl. Let's wash and set your hair, then it is bedtime for you." She washed and set my hair, and said, "I will unzip your dress, I laid out a nightgown for you and wear the bra you need to get used to it." I said, "Thank you for piercing my ears, I really like the earrings, I will see you in the morning." I went to the bedroom and undressed and slid the nightgown over my head, being careful not to snag it on the rollers in my hair. I had to see myself in the mirror. I was a girl, or at least I looked like a girl. I did not fall asleep quickly. I had never gone to bed with rollers in my hair and it was hard to get comfortable. As I tried to sleep, my thoughts were about tomorrow working as a girl. It was then when I realized that after work I would go home and Mom would see me as a girl, not just a boy in a dress. Joey woke up when he heard Aunt Mary. "Joey, time to get up. I need to get you ready for your first day as the towel girl at my shop," she said. I said, "I am up. I will be there after I go to the bathroom." I put on a clean pair of panties and slid the dress I had brought with me and made my way to the bathroom. After I took care of the morning needs, I joined Aunt Mary at the kitchen table. I asked, "Could you help me and zip me up?" She said, "Sure thing, then I will style your hair and add a touch of makeup and you will be ready for work." She styled my hair. It was swept back from my face, pulled up over my ears and had curls cascading down to just below my shoulders. Started on my makeup, eyebrow pencil, mascara and eyeliner for the lower eyelids, blush for my cheeks and finished with lipstick to match the polish on my fingernails. She said, "You can put on these shoes and see yourself in the mirror. The makeup is an everyday look for work." I went to admire Aunt Mary's expertise and was amazed at the finished look. I thought that I had looked like a girl last night, but now I could see the girl that I could be, and I liked my appearance. I said, "I really look like a girl." She said, "I did say you would be working as a girl, so now you look like a proper towel girl." They had breakfast, however, Joey was apprehensive and could only manage toast and orange juice. The beauty shop was only 10 feet from the side door, so it did not take long, and Joey was about to begin working as a girl, first job and first day dressed as a girl. Joey had been here before, but only out front, and he needed to be shown the back of the shop where the washer and dryer were located. Aunt Mary said, "Down that hallway, you will find the laundry room and the shelves holding the soap, bleach and extra towels. Your job is to keep the 3 stations out front stocked with 4 clean towels. As the towels are used, you gather them and do a load of dirty towels as needed. In between loads you can help keep the front clean. Not that hard to do, you should have no trouble doing the job." I said, "I should be okay, and I will do my best. I will start by checking the towels at the workstations." She said, "Good place to start, and check the dryer, I may have left a load in there." My first job and first day working as a girl, and I was having fun. I took inventory of the towels and 2 stations were in need. I got the towels and there was a load of towels in the dryer, so I folded them, placing them on the shelves. I heard the chime of the front door and Aunt Mary was greeting the other 2 stylists that worked at her shop, and she introduced me. She said, "This is Joey and she will be our new towel girl. Joey, meet Betty and Julie." I said, "Hi, I am pleased to meet you." Clients were starting to arrive, and I began the cycle: gather dirty towels and restock the stations, wash a load and put into the dryer, fold the towels and in between sweep a station or clean the shampoo sink. I did not realize how much time had passed until Aunt Mary said, "Joey, you can go next door and have a sandwich, it is lunchtime." I said, "Lunchtime already?" The morning went by fast. I went to the house and made my lunch, ate it and went back to work. The afternoon was not as busy, and I was having trouble finding things to keep me busy. Aunt Mary noticed and said, "If you are caught up, you can take a break." I said, "Thanks, I am caught up for the moment." I drank a soda and rested my feet. I had done a lot of walking only to be at the same place as when I started. I had just finished my soda when Julie said, "Joey, could you sweep up over here? That was my last client and I am headed home, but I hope I see you tomorrow." I said, "I will be right there, and I will be back." I saw that her station needed 2 towels and I got them when I got the broom and dustpan. I had just finished cleaning the hair from around her station when Betty had finished with her last client and asked me to clean up around her station. I checked her towels and there were 4, so I just started to sweep her station. Betty said, "Thanks for doing a good job today, I hope to see you tomorrow." Then Aunt Mary and I were the only ones left. The stylists and clients had left. She said, "You did a good job and I have a treat for you. I am going to give you a permanent. You will not have to sleep with rollers in your hair. Put the broom and dustpan away, put the last load of towels in the dryer and meet me at the shampoo sink." I said, "Yes, Aunt Mary, the first will be right there." I returned to the back room, put away the broom and dustpan and placed the towels into the dryer and made my way to the shampoo sink. She washed my hair and had me go over to her station. I sat in her chair and she said, "Your job will be to hand me the permanent wrapping papers as I need them." She handed me a stack of rectangular papers and started to section off my hair, and before I knew that she was ready she said, "I need you to start handing me the papers, pay attention." It only took her a little over 10 minutes and she got a piece of rolled cotton and placed it behind one ear around the front next to the first row of perm rods and then behind the other ear. Handing me a towel she said, "Hold this firmly to your forehead, if any of the perm solution were to get in your eyes it will sting badly." As I held the towel to my forehead firmly, I could smell the perm solution and it had a foul odor. 5 minutes later she wrapped plastic around my head full of perm rods and that foul-smelling perm solution. She said, "Go over to the shampoo sink and set a timer for 20 minutes. I will rinse out the perm solution and put in the neutralizer, rinse it and remove the rods. Your last job for today will be to rinse the perm rods and gather the used perm paper from the sink and put the perm rods on a towel to dry overnight." 30 minutes later, after I gathered up the used perm paper and tossed them in the trash and the perm rods on a towel, I asked, Am I done with work for the day and can I look at the result of the perm now?" She said, "Yes, you are finished with work for the day and you may look at your new hairdo." I went over to the mirror and I saw my new hairdo. It defiantly changed my appearance. I could not see myself as a boy. The perm had given me very feminine style and I did appear to be a girl, and I said, "Aunt Mary the First really like it. With everything that you have done for me, I am worried that Mom may not like it." She said, "Your mom may be shocked at first, however, she will come to accept that it was necessary for you to be a girl in order to work as my towel girl. Joey, I will drive you home and tell your mom. Sorry if she misunderstood my offer was for you to replace my towel girl." We got to the house. I got out and walked to the door and I opened it slowly. As I entered, I heard my sister Nancy say, "Mom, Joey is home." She did not let on that I was more than just wearing a dress. Mom looked at me and said, "Joey, is that really you?" Then she said, "Mary, I gave you a boy last night and you bring back a girl tonight, why?" Aunt Mary said, "I did say that Joey would be replacing my towel girl and the position requires a girl. Joey accepted the job and I helped him become a girl, at least she looks the part." Mom said, "I heard what you said, and I did not realize that meant he would have to look like a girl. However, Joey is pretty as a girl and if Joey agreed to the requirement, then she will have to keep her word." It was a shock to see a girl instead of a boy. "So how long will she be working for you?" Aunt Mary said, 6 weeks at least. That was how long my towel girl had asked for, but she could change her mind and I may need Joey for the whole summer. Mom asked, "Joey, if Aunt Mary needs you for the whole summer, would you stay as a girl and work for her or should she think about replacing you at that time?" I said, "If Aunt Mary needs me, I have no plans and I am having fun, so I would be willing to work the whole summer if need be." Nancy said, "You got this in the mail from Mrs. Jones. She is in the guidance office at the middle school." I said, "That is the information about the homeschooling program that the school district allows. Mrs. Jones was going to get the information and send it to me. I will look at it tonight." Aunt Mary said, "That may not be a bad idea. It could be worth your time to read about the homeschooling program." Mom said, "If there is a way that you could do it that would not require me to be home to supervise, it may be a good idea." Aunt Mary said, "Joey needs some more lessons on the application of makeup, and there are 2 days before school is out for the summer. I think she should stay with me until after work on Saturday. She could get the makeup lessons and practice applying it herself and read up on the homeschooling program." Mom said, "Sounds good to me. See you Saturday, Joey." Aunt Mary and I left and, on the way back to her house, I said, "Mom took seeing me as a girl much better than I thought, and if the homeschooling is workable, then I could stay a girl. I really do like being a girl." Aunt Mary said, "I could tell that you would rather stay as a girl than go back and be a boy. Perhaps the homeschooling will work out." I said, "I will look over the information about the program and see if it would be possible when we get to your house." I went to the guest room and opened the envelope that Mrs. Jones had sent to me and read about the homeschooling program. The program had 2 methods that were approved. The first required an adult to supervise and Mom could not do that. The second was online classes that were monitored by time and keystroke activity, with limited adult supervision. I went out to the living room and told Aunt Mary about the 2 approved methods. I said, "The first will not work, however, the may second work, but I would need a home computer, which I do not have, and an adult to do limited supervision." Okay, 2 problems, and I was hoping that I could be homeschooled. Aunt Mary said, "Come with me to the den, I have something to show you." I followed her to the den and she said, I use this room as a home office and it has a computer with internet access, so you can be online here, and I used to be a teacher. I think I could be available for the limited supervision. Now that the problems have been covered, what do you need to do to be enrolled for homeschooling online classes? I said, I did not read past the point where I thought that I had 2 problems. I will finish reading it now. I will tell you in the morning. I read what I need to do, and I would have to go see Mrs. Jones and acquire a letter recommending me for enrollment in the homeschooling program and have Aunt Mary verify her limited supervision. I went to bed. I knew that Mrs. Jones would help me. It was her idea to investigate homeschooling. I would call her to make an appointment for after school tomorrow. Aunt Mary did not have to wake me up. I was up dressed and waiting for her at the kitchen table. She said, You are a real eager beaver this morning, Joey. I said, I could not wait to tell you what I need to do in order to enroll in the homeschooling program. I told her about needing a letter recommending me for enrollment in the program. I will call her as soon as I can and make an appointment for after school today, and I need you to verify your limited supervision, a letter, or she could call you. She said, I will do better that a letter or phone call. I will go with you just in case she has question about the office setup. Now I am going to do your makeup on the left side of your face. You will do the right side. Watch and learn, then do what you learn. I said, it would be better if you went with me to see Mrs. Jones. Okay, I am ready to learn how to apply my makeup. She started with my left eyebrow using brow pencil, mascara and eyeliner for the lower eyelid. She said, Your turn. It took me longer, but I got it done. Next came the blush on my left cheek and I repeated how I saw her do it. She said, You can apply the lipstick yourself. It is time to go to work. We went next door to the shop and the first thing I did was to remove and fold the towels from the dryer. I heard the door to the shop open and the other stylists arrive, and Aunt Mary greeted them, and after a round of good mornings she said, Joey and I will be leaving early this afternoon. I will need one of you to close the shop. Betty said, I will stay and close. I entered the main shop area and both stylists said, Joey, you came back. That perm looks good. I said, I like this job and always enjoy my time with my aunt. She gave me the perm and I really like it. Aunt Mary said, Joey, you need to call Mrs. Jones and make that appointment. I said, I will do that now. I placed the call to Mrs. Jones. I said, Mrs. Jones, this is Joey Nutter. Thank you for sending me the information on the homeschooling program. That is why I am calling. I need to see you today after school, if that is possible. She said, I was glad to send the information and I can put you down for 3:45. I said, that would be fine. I will see you then. I told Aunt Mary the time for the appointment was 3:45 and she suggested we leave at 3:30. I must have looked at the clock 100 times. I did not want to be late for the appointment with Mrs. Jones. Finally Aunt Mary said, Joey, it is time to go. I said, be right out. I need to start this load of towels. We headed out to her car and after we got in, I said, I hope everything goes well and that my appearance as a girl does not harm my chance for the program. We got to the middle school and made our way to Mrs. Jones's office. I knocked on the door and Mrs. Jones said, Come in and let us start the meeting. I opened the door for Aunt Mary and followed her into Mrs. Jones' office and I said, Mrs. Jones, this is my Aunt Mary Nutter. Mrs. Jones looked up and saw me and said, I did not know who you were until you introduced your aunt. You are Joey Nutter. I said, yes, I am Joey. I needed to be supervised the last 4 days until summer break and Mom could not take off from work, so she asked Aunt Mary if I could go over to her beauty shop, just till summer starts. Aunt Mary, can you explain the job offer? Aunt Mary said, It is nice to meet you, Mrs. Jones. Joey needed supervision and I needed to replace my towel girl. I told Joey's mother that I would hire Joey to replace my towel girl. They both thought that it would be a good idea and agreed. I thought that they knew that my towel girl was a girl and replacing her meant Joey would need to be a girl. When I explained to Joey the terms of the job offer, as you can see, she has accepted of job offer. Mrs. Jones said, "Well, Joey, you do look exceptionally good as a girl. Actually, you are better looking like a girl. I hope that does not offend you." "Joey, what plan do you prefer?" I said, "The online program with Aunt Mary in the limited supervisory role. She has a home office in her den, and it has a computer, printer, and internet access." I am not offended. In fact, I believe I look better as a girl and I even like being a girl more than a boy, so homeschooling would really be the best option for me. Mrs. Jones said, "I would have to agree. The homeschooling program is exactly what you need as our school district is behind the times and you would be the first transgendered student and I would fear for your safety. I will prepare my recommendation for your enrollment to the homeschooling program and an affidavit of supervision for your aunt to sign." She had both documents prepared and she signed her letter and handed the other to Aunt Mary to sign. Then she made copies for my file and gave me the originals. She said, "Have these notarized and send the notarized copies to the school district and they will send everything that you will need to start the fall classes online." It was nice to meet you both. I thanked her for her help and Aunt Mary, and I left. Aunt Mary said, "We can get the originals notarized at my bank. We should drop by and see you, Mother, and let her know the good news." I said, "That sounds like a good idea. It is good news for me, but Mom may not like it." Aunt Mary said, "I know what and how to say it and she will see that homeschooling is really the best thing for you." We got home and went into the apartment. Nancy said, "Aunt Mary and Joey are here, Mom." Mom asked, "What did you find out about homeschooling, Joey?" I was approved for the program and I am enrolled for the fall term. It will be the online classes and I will be using Aunt Mary's home office as my classroom and she has agreed to the limited supervision that the program calls for and I already mailed the documents to the school district. "I am going to get a soda," I said. As I went to the kitchen to get my soda, I heard Mom say, "Mary, did you stop to think that I should have had a chance to voice my opinion? Joey is my child." Aunt Mary said, "Judith." I hardly ever heard Aunt Mary call Mom by her name, so I wanted to hear what she was going to say. "Have you noticed that Joey is much happier as a girl? I am sure that this homeschooling is the best thing for Joey. My towel girl will not be returning to work and you heard Joey agree to working the whole summer and after working as a girl all summer, she will not want to go back and be a boy." Mom said, "I remember Joey agreed to working the whole summer if needed. Joey was born a boy." Aunt Mary said, "I know that you did not plan on this outcome. However, Joey was dressed in nothing but her sister's hand-me-downs and with no male role model to identify with. Her gender identification is female." Mom said, "I know that gender identification can sometimes be crossed. However, I never thought that it would be a problem. Joey, have you been listening to our conversation? As it concerns you, what do you really want to do?" I said, "Mom, I really like being a girl. I have known that I was not like the guys at school, and now I know why. Aunt Mary is right. My gender identification is female, and I do not want to be a boy. I am going to stay a girl." Mom said, "If that is how you feel and what you want, then I will not stand in your way. However, it will take some time for me to accept you as a girl, so for the summer you can stay with Aunt Mary and just be here at go to church on Sundays." I said, "I will pack some more clothes." I only packed for 3 days. I went to my bedroom and thought about what just happened and how my life had just changed. I turned to look at my reflection in the mirror and I knew that I had made the right choice. I am a girl and I needed to explore what type of life I will have. I told Mom and Nancy that I would come by before church and I went to meet Aunt Mary at her car. I was silent. I had just declared to Mom that I was transgender, a girl in a boy's body, and I would be living as a girl from now on. I broke my silence when we got to Aunt Mary's house. I said, "Thank you for letting me stay with you. I did say that Mom would not accept me as a girl." I asked, How long have you known that I was not like other boys and I was more like a girl? I do not know if I am expressing myself right. Aunt Mary said, I knew when you started school and you did not want to dress in boys' clothing. You had the chance to be like the other boys and wear clothes like they wore. Instead, you would only wear hand-me-down clothes from your sisters, attire for girls. I was glad to accept your mother's request and allow you to stay with me to give her the time that she needs to accept you as her daughter and not her son. She will come around, it just may take some time and you can stay as long as you need. Aunt Mary made us a quick dinner and said, now that you are not a guest, by that I mean you live here, you can start helping out and share preparing meals. I said, sure, you will need to teach me how to cook. Mom always took care of the meals or my sisters would help sometimes. I guess she did not want me doing chores that girls usually performed. The most she allowed me to do was clearing the table after meals. She said, you will soon find out there is much about being a girl that you do not know. Not to worry, I will be glad to teach you. After dinner you can start by clearing the dishes and putting them into the dishwasher. I will show you how to run it. After dinner Joey got her instruction on the dishwasher and said, the dishwasher is a lot easier than hand washing. I am going to wash up and go to bed. See you in the morning. She would never think of herself as a boy, and even to herself, she was living and working as a girl and would only think of herself as a girl. After a quick shower she went to her room and looked over the letter that Mrs. Jones had written and noticed that Mrs. Jones had referred to Joey as a girl with the use of pronouns she and her. As a result of the reason for homeschooling, Joey was transgendered on the record at the school district and she felt that would be part of her permanent school record. She knew that she did not have much time before her body would want to develop as a young boy and she did not want that to happen. She decided that she would ask Aunt Mary if she knew of a way to stop it before it began. Joey was up early and ready for work. She had made the coffee for Aunt Mary and was waiting at the kitchen table when Aunt Mary came into the kitchen. She said, Joey, that aroma from the coffee is really good, thank you for making it. Joey said, I was glad to make it. I was wondering if it would be all right for me to start drinking coffee. Mom had always told me when you were older. She replied, I think you are old enough. I like my coffee with cream and sugar. However, try it black, and if you do not like the taste then and sugar, cream or both. Joey made her first cup of coffee and very quickly decided that cream and sugar was the preferred blend. She said, I like it with cream and sugar, the way you drink yours. I have something to ask you. Do you know how I can stop my body from developing as a boy? If I have a choice, I want to develop as a girl. Aunt Mary said, I do know that there are drugs that can block the male hormones and others that will cause female development. One of these is estrogen. However, I do not know a doctor. You could look online, do a Google search. I said, I do not know how to do that. I had planned to take computer classes next year. She said, then you can start learning how to use my computer now. Meet me in my home office and I will show you how to turn it on, switch users and do a keyword search. Push that button and turn the computer, look for the box in the center of the screen, below it move the cursor on change user, use the mouse, it is the device with the cord. Now type your name in the box and decide on a password and re-enter the password. Now you can use the computer for the accessing the internet. Tap on the little blue globe, then enter in the box the keywords to search for. I would suggest words that are close to what you want to find. Have fun, Joey. Do not worry about being at work. This is very important, and the sooner you acquire the information, you cannot make any plans till you know how to proceed. Joey said, thank you, Aunt Mary. The first will be at work as soon as I can. Aunt Mary went to work, and Joey went to the kitchen and made another cup of coffee and returned to the computer. She entered as keywords, local doctor, estrogen, transgender, and in a second the screen display told her that there were 2 local doctors that treated transgender clients. One doctor was a man and the other doctor was a woman, Dr. Edward Thomas and Dr. Wanda Johnston. That was fast. Her cup of coffee was still hot, and she decided to take it with the names of the 2 doctors to work. She went to the beauty shop and Aunt Mary said, that was fast. I just now opened the shop. What did you find out? Joey said, there are 2 doctors in town that treat transgender clients, one is a man and the other is a woman, however, I would feel more comfortable with a woman as my doctor. Aunt Mary said, it is great that there is a doctor in town, I had thought we might have had to go out of town. Did you call, have an appointment? Joey said, I do not know if I have made enough money and I wanted to know if I could afford the office visit before I called for an appointment. Aunt Mary said, let me check on whether the visit would be covered under the insurance policy. Joey said, what insurance? I did not know that I had any. Aunt Mary said, enrollment in the group policy was one of the papers you signed. I will go to the house and call the insurance provider and let you know if it is covered. You can cover the front while I am gone. Joey was covering the front when the other stylist showed up for work. Morning ladies, she said, Aunt Mary will be back soon, and if I can be of help let me know. Aunt Mary returned and said, good news, you are covered and can call the doctor of your choice for an appointment. I will explain the limits of the coverage after work, you can make your phone call on your lunch break. Joey was apprehensive the phone call was especially important, her future was at stake and her words needed to be precise and convey the urgency of her needs. Finally, it was lunchtime and Joey went to the house to make her phone call. She was not thinking about food, however, she made herself a cup of coffee and sat down at the kitchen table to drink her coffee and placed the call to Dr. Wanda Johnston and after explaining her need to see the doctor and verifying insurance she had an appointment for 5:30 p.m. today. Aunt Mary would need to accompany her, as a minor she would need a parent or guardian and she doubted that mom would be ready to deal with this part of her life. She finished her coffee, still not hungry she returned to the shop. She saw Aunt Mary and motioned her to come to the storeroom. Joey said, I have an appointment for 5:30 p.m. today, and I need you to accompany me as my guardian. Aunt Mary said, I do not have a late client, however, I will have one of the girls close up and we can leave at 5 p.m., an hour earlier than normal. Joey spent the rest of the afternoon with her mind on the appointment and could not wait to leave with Aunt Mary. She hoped that when the time came, she would be able to explain her feelings adequately to the doctor. Aunt Mary said, Joey, it is time to leave, you can meet me at the car. Joey was lost in her thoughts and Aunt Mary had parked the car when she realized that they had arrived at the office of Dr. Wanda Johnston. Joey noticed that the car had stopped and knew the moment she had been contemplating had arrived. She opened the door and together with Aunt Mary walked to the front door to the office of Dr. Wanda Johnston. She went to check in for her appointment. She said to the receptionist, I am Joey Nutter and I have appointment with Dr. Johnston. The receptionist looked at her computer screen and said, yes, I see your name, please fill out this form and bring it back with your insurance cards. Joey had to work hard to keep her hand from shaking as she grabbed the clipboard. Mind was going over all the events that had led her to this moment, however, she did remember to say, thank you. She filled the form, with Aunt Mary's help and returned it to the receptionist. On her way she noticed that Aunt Mary had told the insurance company that her name was Joey, because the insurance card she was holding proved that it was not a dream, she was real and she liked it. The receptionist took the paperwork and wrote down the info from the insurance company, then handed the card back to Joey. She said, Dr. Johnston will be with you shortly. You can go to exam room 2, put on the gown on the exam table. Your mother can be with you if you want. Joey looked at Aunt Mary. She wished that the error was the truth. She said, this is my Aunt Mary, however, she is my legal guardian, and I would like her to be with me. They made their way to exam room 2 and Joey disrobed and put on the gown. Aunt Mary did have to help with those strings on the back. Joey did not have too much time to be nervous as Dr. Johnston entered the exam room. She said, I'm Dr. Johnston, and you are Joey Nutter, and this is your Aunt Mary. Tell me about yourself and what you would like to do. Joey did her best to explain and ended by saying, I believe I'm transgendered and I have started to live as a girl and do not want to become any more like a man. I was hoping that you could help me stop that. Dr. Johnston said, "You do seem to know what you want, and I can help you. However, you do need to have an official diagnosis of gender dysphoria." "That should not be a problem. I will give you the name of a psychiatrist." Spironolactone, which is used to block male hormones, and estrogen, which can help your body go into puberty as a young girl. "I can have the prescriptions ready to be sent to your pharmacy as soon as I get that diagnosis from Dr. Ben Logan. He should be able to see you when you leave here. That's where we stand." "I do need to draw some blood." She wasted no time. Then Joey and Aunt Mary were on the way to see Dr. Ben Logan. It was easier when you had a referral. After Joey told Dr. Ben Logan, he emailed Dr. Johnston the diagnosis of gender dysphoria. Dr. Logan said, "You should have no problem getting the medication. However, I will need to see you once a month. My nurse will set the appointments for you. It was nice to meet you." After Joey had the appointment set for next month, they left for the pharmacy. Joey said, "Thank you for having my name on the insurance card. However, there might be a problem at the pharmacy." Aunt Mary said, "I will take care of the issue at the pharmacy. One of the many forms and papers you signed was a request to have your name changed, so next week your name will be Joey Nutter. You really should pay more attention to what you are signing." Joey said, "I know Mother will not be pleased. However, now that I have started down this road, I don't want to stop." Aunt Mary smiled and said, "I will handle your mother. It is not like she could not have seen this as an outcome of having you dressed in your sister's hand-me-downs. There are churches that give away clothes, and she could have dressed you as a boy. However, clothes do not make a man, and it may have turned out this way living with 3 females. You may have wanted to be more like them. Still, we don't need to let her know until you have breasts of your own." Joey had to agree. It may take months, and with homeschooling, I really could be much more like a girl by next summer. Still, seeing me with breasts in a swimsuit, I would not be able to hide them. At the pharmacy, Aunt Mary took care of the lack of ID and handed the 2 prescriptions to Joey. She held them in her hands and hoped that everything would work itself out. It would be so much easier if Mother could accept her new daughter. If not, she was glad to have Aunt Mary. They arrived back at Aunt Mary's, and Joey took the first pills, 1 from each bottle, and putting them in her mouth, she felt them go down her throat with the water she was drinking. She said, "I will become the girl I feel inside with the help of these pills. If Mother wanted a son, then she should not have put me in dresses. I don't understand why she seems so upset at seeing me as a girl in a dress." Aunt Mary said, "You have just made the case. It was your mother's choices that helped you identify yourself as a girl. It just took time for you to realize your true nature. The time to start planning for the future is now." "Were you planning on going to college?" Joey thought for a minute. "I know that Mother had set aside money for college. However, with the rising costs of a college education, there may not be enough money for me to attend. So, I will have to find a job." Aunt Mary said, "Think about this. If you like this type of work, then you could put up the money you make and you could go to beauty school. Then you could be my partner in my business, and I would leave the shop and house to you in my will. You are the daughter that I wish I had." Joey said, "The receptionist thought you were my mother. I would be honored to be your daughter. I do like this type of work." Joey thought to herself, "I have taken the first step. It may take time. However, I should not have to worry about becoming a man, as the male blocker and the estrogen will cause me to become the girl I know I am. Just a problem with the plumbing." Author's note: I am making progress with my own transition. New terminology is gender-affirming medicine, and there's a place for me to go and get the help I have put off for so long. I like the way it sounds. Joey needed to find out if it would be possible to finish high school early. Having a plan for a career that would mean not having to attend college, it should be possible to be finished early with the required classes. Joey could not help but feel torn between Mother and Aunt Mary. She knew that Aunt Mary was right. It had been Mother's choice, and maybe she did not want to admit that this gender change would be the result, however unintended it may have been. Aunt Mary does love me and wants only to help me. Her plan for my future is one that I want and know I am making a good choice. When I am old enough to confirm my choice for gender affirmation surgery, done deal. Author's note been on the program with HRT and they have finally arrived. They are small, but all me. I am an A cup. Waiting for the doctor that will perform the pelvic reconstruction for the removal of the balls. Nothing has worked down there in 6 months. No morning piss hard on, thought I would miss it getting hard and shooting a load, but not really. Closer I get the more I want the rest of the surgery. Joey knew that it was not her fault. Mother had put a boy into dresses and needs to accept that Joey is now a girl, although mostly just mentally. That is where the personality really exists. Who and what about self is formed there in the gray matter. The self becomes the manifestation and projects itself as the person that interacts with others, and once it has been done, it is the reality of life. If someone looked, they could see the family resemblance, a sister or niece, definitely a nodder. Maybe Aunt Mary could adopt Joey and it would not matter. Until then, questions could be asked about why a new nodder was around and what happened to that boy that wore dresses. Joey made her mind up she would not go to the same church as her mother did. Aunt Mary did go to another church. Shouldn't a daughter go with her mother? And Aunt Mary was more like a mother to her now. She would ask Aunt Mary about both. Joey thought it would be better to tell Mother about the change of plans for church. She should agree. Too many questions. If Joey went to the church where people knew how many children live at the Nutter home. 2, 1 girl and 1 boy that often could be seen wearing a dress. She was sure that it would be okay with Aunt Mary. Better to ask. Aunt Mary, I thought it might be a good idea to go to church with you. Everyone will be looking for Mother and her 2 children, 1 of each and not 2 girls. Absolutely right, was what Aunt Mary agreed. Better to call your mother now. She was looking at me, well, it was my idea. Joey went to the phone on the wall and dialed her mother. Mom, it's Joey. I think it would be better for me to go to church with Aunt Mary. Everybody knows you have 1 of each at home now, not 2 girls. Yes, that is true, Mother added. You still have to come to Sunday dinner. Joey exclaimed. Mother just hung up. No goodbye. Church with you is okay with her. She still wants me at home for Sunday dinner. Aunt Mary retorted, that sister of mine can be so rude. Well, one less problem. Joey wanted to know. Aunt Mary, if Mother cannot come to accept me as her daughter, could you adopt me? Yes, I could, as she did sign over her rights as a mother when I became your legal guardian. It would be just a formality to, not right now. Give her some time, she may yet surprise you and come around. She was happy that Joey had brought it up. Saturday was a busy day as many women could not make it to the shop during the week. Office career types, you know, the 9-to-5ers. The day flew by. Joey was beat, very tired. After closing the shop, she still had a lot left. She would not leave it in a mess. She gathered all the dirty towels and put them in the clothes basket and went to put them into the washer. Oops, it was full and so was the dryer. Only 1 clothes basket. She pulled the dry towels out of the dryer and just put them on top of the dryer, took the wet towels out of the washer and put them into the dryer, starting it. She dropped the dirty towels in the washer and started it. Now it was towel folding time. When she finished, she realized she had forgot to count how many towels would be needed at the stations. Quickly counted and then replenished the stations with the right number of towels. All that would have been left was to wait or come back when the towels would be dry, except she needed to sweep and mop as the girls had plans and wanted to leave, and being the new towel girl, sure, no problem. It did work out, as by the time she had finished the shop floor, towels in the dryer were done out of the dryer into the basket and wet towels had finished into the dryer with them. Enough for today. I'll fold all the towels Monday morning. She was done and went over to the house, locking the shop as she left. Aunt Mary inquired, most Saturdays are that busy? 1 day short of a full week. I forgot. Can you get the timesheets at the front desk, please? Then I can start on the payroll while you get dinner ready. Sure, no problem. As she went back to the shop, opening the door, going quickly to the keypad to enter the code to stop the alarm, made it. If she didn't, the alarm would have been sent to the police. It was silent, better to catch the thieves when they think that they are going to get away. Setting the code was much easier as it did not become active until the door was closed. Here are the time sheets. That done, now what for dinner? Something quick and easy, as she was so ready for this day to be done, at least anything that resembled work. She used the leftover chicken breast to top a salad, slicing it so that the one breast was enough to cover both of the salads, one tomato slice to go in between the slices of chicken, a little bit of shredded cheese, and all that was left was the dressing of choice, French or Italian. After pouring some iced tea, she went to get Aunt Mary. Dinner is ready. Aunt Mary was wondering how dinner was done without the smell of something cooking, until she saw the freshly done salads. She laughed, thinking fast and easy, Joey must be tired. Looks nice. They did not talk through dinner as both had matters that needed to be resolved. Aunt Mary had the payroll and Joey had how to deal with her mother. After they ate, Joey declared, "I'm done, wash up and then to bed, good night." Joey woke and looked to see what kind of outfit she could throw together. The navy blue pleated skirt, a white blouse, and a blue blazer. A slip would be in order, seemed right for church. After church was the thought that kept her unable to focus, mother. Joey went to the bathroom, the light was better and added just a hint of makeup. Brow pencil and mascara for the eyes, blush for the cheeks, and barely there's pink lipstick. Satisfied with what she thought was proper for church, she went to the kitchen. The coffee did smell nicer, now that she could have a cup. She made a cup of coffee and sat across the table from Aunt Mary. You never told when I would get paid. Monday is payday. Do you need something? New bras, as I only have the one you gave me. I need to wash it, but without it on I am reminded that I was not born a girl. The same size as the foam ones inside the bra, have a hollow space for smaller breasts to fit under, room for mine to grow before they would be large enough to fill a bra on their own. More panties would be nice, as the ones that I have don't want to stay put. Questions at church. Joey was right, people did have questions as to who this new girl was. Aunt Mary did the best she could, not wanting to tell a big whopper of a lie, being at church maybe a small one. In the end, Aunt Mary had a brief but successful affair back in her past. Embarrassed at the prospect of having a child, she went to stay with friends out of state. Joey was basically a love child of a man that left her. Sent off to boarding schools, and with the change in the attitude towards women with an unplanned child out of wedlock, she brought her daughter home, and they are just now getting to know each other. After church, Joey was amazed at Aunt Mary. So, they think I am your daughter, sent away, now back. What do you think my mother will say about that? I'll just tell her it was that, or Joey would be the latest city scandal. She will see that I was right, at least I hope. She changed the subject. Walmart for the bras and panties. Joey knew her aunt. That would be nice, then it will be Sunday dinner with mother. SHTF, shit hits the fan after the hellos and nice to see you were out of the way. Joey, you do look very nice. I don't see a boy, and that is the problem. So, if you really want to do this, whatever it is, be a girl. Then I have lost the only son I had. Mary, take her, then I can't deal with having her in this house. Mary turned to see the tears running down Joey's face and went to her, giving her a hug. Then there is no more to be said. You did sign over your rights as a mother, fine then. My answer to your question, Joey, is yes, I will adopt you.